Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Homer's Frenemies, a podcast dedicated to the love of early Simpsons episodes. And you can follow Homer's Frenemies on Twitter at Homer's Frenemies or follow our YouTube page and remember to hit that like button. This week we are reviewing season 6, episode 16, Bart versus Australia. Hi, my name is Jay Lizard, and you can follow me on my Twitter page at Jamie Sardo. That's JIMLIZARDO. With me is my co-host Jimmy. And where can they find you, Jimmy?
Hey guys, so you can find me at Jimmy underscore Twitches JYNMI on YouTube, and on YouTube it's Jimmy JYNMI underscore journals.
Awesome. How was your day going? You hungry?
I'm hungry, but I just I brought the dogs in because it was kind of warm earlier, so I'm like, okay.
Did it rain on your side? Did it rain?
Yeah.
Because it rained over here.
And it was fine. And then all of a sudden at like 5, when I normally take them out, I tried taking them out, and there was thunder, and like the bigger ones, like nope, no, not gonna happen. Nope. I'm like, but it's nope. I'll pee inside first. I'm not going out there.
And this past weekend, you sent me a text that you didn't have electricity. How was that day?
I get so bored. Like we are so dependent on electricity. I mean, I could have read or went outside to do stuff. Like I have been wanting to fix my bike for weeks, but I have no willpower. I couldn't get myself to do anything.
Monday they're fixing the water thing outside, and the water company was here, so we didn't have water for like Monday.
Oh, that's terrible.
So I had to like I didn't shower until like 11 p.m., 12 p.m. because they were still out. They were still out there fixing the stuff. Another question, Jimmy. Are you caught up watching Bob's Burgers?
No, I'm gonna binge it at the end of the season.
You call yourself a fan.
I've been playing Minecraft. Okay, it's taking up a lot of my focus.
All right, are you ready to talk about Bart versus Australia?
Sure am.
Awesome. After he makes a collect call to Australia and refuses to pay for it, Bart sparks an international incident, with the Simpsons forced to travel to the country in order to repair political relations. Jimmy, name one positive thing about this episode and one negative thing about this episode. Go for it.
Positive, for once, Bart's his prank calls are addressed. Like they lead to something. This whole episode is based on him prank calling different countries because he wanted to prove that it doesn't all swirl. All the toilets don't swirl the way Lisa says.
And it wasn't just Mo; it was international stuff.
Yeah. It was all sorts of different countries. And the negative. And okay, so the negative is this is all like there were some funny parts generally, but this was all like stereotypes. Did you notice this? Like this whole episode was basically making fun of various stereotypes, and it's like, well, that's funny here and there, but like when you build a whole episode over basically that, it's kind of like, eh. And you favorites and least favorites?
My favorite thing. The whole episode, I was entertained from start to finish. The mix with Homer and Bart together makes great TV. It really makes great TV. And things I didn't like, there was nothing that I hated. I was entertained. I mean, there was nothing negative about it. We'll talk about some of the stuff throughout the acts and stuff, but I was entertained. I didn't have anything negative, especially because this episode was episode 16 from season 6, and usually the later episodes they're like, all right, we're going to the next season, we're just going to throw this stuff to
they're getting ready for the
new season, and they were just like, this one, it was just awesome. All right, so you ready to talk about it?
Sure am.
All right, Act 1. Bart and Lisa play bathroom games. Bart finds out the water goes down the drain differently in the northern and southern hemisphere. Bart calls the southern hemispheres and makes a 6-hour-long collect call to Australia. Homer receives the bill and believes he did the calling. But the Australian people want answers and try to get Bart indicted for fraud in Australia. Anything from Act 1 that you want to talk about?
So I just realized this.
Yes.
The Simpsons have two restrooms.
That's what I thought too.
It's weird because I remember in the Lisa Simpson episode from season one, they were all getting mad at her for staying so much time in the restroom, but in this one, Bart and Lisa are playing around in one restroom while Homer's screaming in the other one. Or no,
I think,
that was
yeah,
later when Bart was testing it. But yeah, they
yeah,
have two restrooms.
yeah. In one of the other episodes, the bathroom is in it's in Homer's room. Remember, he was flushing down the Oscar or something, and then they have another bathroom. So I guess they have two bathrooms.
I guess, but it's still weird because I don't know. It was weird. And
Um,
the other thing was, did you notice that they made that joke? Do you know where Hitler was?
he was in South America, right?
Yeah, he was in, I think,
Argentina,
Yeah, because
Argentina, right?
the whole joke was that him and a bunch of Nazis escaped there and that he never really died. Because it confused me at first where it was Hitler. I'm like, okay, it's Germany, which is weird. But then they're like Buenos Noches, and I'm like, what? That's that's not German.
The part I liked from the Act 1 was when Marge hears Bart flushing the toilet and tells him to use the plunger.
She
When
was
Bart
ve-
tries when Bart is trying to put the water in the other side, was like, Bart, just use the plunger.
she was very calm. I know that at that age, my parents would have smacked me if I was playing around in the toilet. I'm like, that's dirty. I guess she's dead inside. She doesn't even care what Bart does anymore.
Well, well, when Lisa tells Bart that Rand McCalney, it's a real country and they wear hats on their feet and hamburgers eat people, and Bart believes.
He's a very. I can't tell if Bart is dumb or not. Sometimes.
Well,
Sometimes it's like,
the other thing was when the bill arrives, Homer's like, "Shut up, brain." I'm like, no, I'm gonna tell something about this. I'm like, no, well, the brain is like, no, I think you did it.
don't make us both look dumb. And that's. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. I miss those episodes. I don't think they stopped doing them where Homer would talk to his brain or his brain would comment on things like, "That's it, I'm out of here." And then I think they stopped doing that. Those were
Well,
always great.
I paused it when he was opening the bill, and I saw all the places where Bart called. Are you ready?
Sure.
Bart called Chile for it's $15.40, and I think that's where Hitler was.
Okay.
He then called Antarctica, and that cost $21.43.
Okay, but Antarctica isn't that one owned by the U.S.? So that's not an international call.
I don't know, but he owes $21.43. He also called New Jugadu for $17.84.
Was that where the despot was, where he jumped out the window?
I believe so. I don't know where that place is. The other place he called was Burkina Faso for $29.02. An unnamed settlement that was $38.41.
It
A
was in a.
dispute zone $38.19. And the weird thing is, all these calls were made on January 10th at 8:45 a.m. around that time. So I guess they were getting up and getting ready to work and go to school.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a joke on the different time zones. I'm like, I don't think time zones would work that way.
No, well, when Bart called, it was at 8:40 something a.m.
Oh, okay.
So the brain wants him just to he wants Homer just to write the check, and he'll release some more endorphins. But the Australian people get the bill, and it's $900 over there.
I
And the
would.
weird, go ahead.
Oh no, I would argue that too. I wouldn't. That's no. You don't let that go. It's funny
The
though
thing
that
is,
that guy had a bidet.
a bidet, yeah. And the thing is, it was a 6 hour collect call. 6 hours. I remember when Bart was it was like Melhouse was calling him. And it's like, okay, whatever, and he just leaves the phone like that.
And at the end, when he picked it up, they're like, Are we in danger? Oh, I don't care about that.
I don't care anymore about that. So, anyways, Bart, when the dad calls Dr. Bart Simpson, Bart mocks him and telling him, "I think I hear a dingo eating your baby." You know where that phrase comes from?
Oh, Dingo actually ate a baby.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I picked this episode because on RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under, they have a game show called the Snatch Game, and the drag queens have to impersonate a celebrity. And one of the drag queens, etc., she impersonated Lindy Chamberlain, and that's the person that is referring to. And apparently, Lindy Chamberlain's the one that screamed, "The dingo has my baby," and Chamberlain was convicted on. People didn't believe her that the dingo was eating the baby. You know what a dingo is?
It's a wild dog.
It's a wild dog and stuff. Nobody nobody believed her, so they imprisoned her. And her appeals to the federal court to Australia and High Court of Australia were dismissed. But on February 1986, they discovered, I guess somebody died where they found a dead body, and also they found a dingo lair, and that's where they found the baby clothes. So Chamberlain was released from prison on remission, and I guess she's still getting paid by the government.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much did they pay her? Because no, they had to pay when they screw up like that.
Yeah,
But
one
what are
point
the
three
odds that they
million
would
dollars.
find the layer? What are the odds that they would actually find the baby?
That's weird. And the weird thing is, a person had to die. And they
Another
found the
person.
body and another person, and then they found the dingo's lair, and there was the baby's clothes right there, and they found her, and that's where the phrase "I hear a dingo eating your baby" comes from. Um, and then Bart gets mail from Australia, and this is where they find that he was being indicted for fraud in Australia.
I like how he tells Marge and Lisa, just so you don't hear any rumors, I'm being indicted for fraud in Australia. And
I
then
like when
Homer,
I like Homer's. What does Homer say?
he's like, well, that's no reason to get in the way of the TV.
That's no reason to block the TV. Just get out of the way. Yeah, he was getting letters. What would you do if you found that you get letters from Australia
I wouldn't open them. Like, there's no
at
reason
all?
for Australia to contact me. Like, I'm a saint. But what I don't get is, don't they make him clean his room? How long was that? Those letters like piling up?
And especially because it's international mail, it takes a while to
Yeah. So
come. So I was like, the trash. Also, the trash was building up without throwing the trash away.
yeah, it was real weird too. Because like once he told them about it, that's when the guy from the State Department showed up. I'm like, you couldn't have done that like sooner, because that was like months. That's easily a couple of months worth of mail. Probably
Yeah.
half a
So we'll
year.
go to. So we're going to Act Two. This is where the U.S. State Department stepped in to help Bart with his problem
I
with.
don't know if you want to call it help.
Will help. He says Bart needs to go to jail for 5 years. Marge disagrees, and the other option is to make a public apology to Australia, and the trip is free. They get a free trip to Australia. The Simpsons are now in Australia and visit places. Homer and Bart visit the Parliament to apologize, but the Prime Minister wants to give Bart the boot to his butt. Anything about Act Two do you want to talk about?
I mean, I can't remember. I can't remember his name, but boy, I miss the guy who did Troy McClure.
Yeah,
He was so good. But like when they told Marge, that they were gonna send him to prison for 5 years, Marge says no, and the guy's face just fell. Like he looked almost hurt. He was almost like sad. He's
oh,
like, oh.
I guess he just wants to give up and say, hey, let's just put him in prison and call it a day.
Yeah. I mean, the guy, he was basically Troy McClure, but in a government role.
Yeah, and this is where the Act Two is where Homer says, he makes fun of you're a gay. Hey, look, you're a gay.
And,
And
and I
what's
I use a line from this thing too, but I mean I never use it against you. But it's yes'm. I got yes'm from this one, and I use it a lot. Hold on,
yes.
my dad's honking. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Anyways, the guy, the U.S. the U.S. State Department has his name is Evan Conover, and he represents Bart under the Brad and Punk division.
I like that name, Conover. That does sound like something a spy would be named in the '80s, but like a comedy spy.
And he tells Bart that the conflict with the U.S. Australia are in the low times low. Pulls Australia's hurt feelings of the U.S. folder.
Well, that and yeah, because they thought that we were gonna always. That's true though. The '80s were very obsessed with
The
Australia, huh?
Australia, yeah. And then for some reason, it's like Australia hurt feelings of the U.S. and Homer says, oh hell, I could, oh he'll agitate you. Oh, he sure will. And then Lisa's in Marge's face, just looks at him,
Like this isn't a
and then he,
joking matter, Homer.
yeah, because freaking Bart is that's how he is. So they want to impersonate Bart for 5 years. That's tough, but and then Homer just says that's tough but fair.
Go with the man.
No, no, no. To freaking Marge, and then I guess they have to Bart has to make a public apology in Australia, so they get a free trip to Australia. How in the hell do they get lucky and get free trips anywhere?
I just want to see because I know they went to Florida once, but
Yeah,
I wish they did a sequel to this episode where because Homer says, "Can you make a prank call to Florida next year?"
to Orlando. Yeah,
Orlando.
I'm way ahead of you.
I wish they made a sequel to that one too. That would have been funny.
And then it's funny because it's like, oh, we see the Simpsons all tired and drained. Homer's are like, so we left at 1:30 p.m. Monday. What time is it now, Lisa? It's 6:45 a.m. next Wednesday.
And it's winter. I mean summer.
And it's winter. He's like, "Aw." And this is where we find Bart. Bart, I guess he has frogs, a bullfrog, and he just lets it go.
You know
And
what? I think that's the
yeah,
only time during the episode where he showed remorse. Because he said, "I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to get in more trouble." I think that's the
so
only time he actually showed that he cared about what happened.
yeah, he just lets it go and said, "We'll pick you up when we leave."
Yeah,
Like the frog is gonna be there. And then
he's not a smart kid. Remember how confused he was when Lisa explained the globe?
yeah, so they go to the U.S. embassy and it says the restrooms. They have a sign that says restrooms for citizens only. In Australia, in America, Homer wants Bart to commit a fraud next summer in Orlando, Florida. And Bart just says, well, I'm way ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
So they find out Bart wants to know about the toilet, and it's like, nope, the toilets were because we're in America, we made a machine to make sure the toilets flush the way America flushes.
For patriotism, the proper way.
Yeah. So they find out Australia was a settlement for British convicts. You know about this about Australia?
Yeah.
Like, and I guess if you talk to Australia people, they get upset about this.
Really, I didn't know that
Yeah,
because it's well known. But I mean, I didn't
yeah,
think
because
they would.
people, yeah, because people say you're just prisoners.
Okay, I can see how that would be annoying.
So this is where they go to the parliament for the apology. I like how Bart apologizes because you know how he fakes apologize everything.
It was a good apology.
It was. He's like, no. So the prime minister says, you're good to go. But after his punishment, everybody's like, what? A punishment? Yep. I want you a kick in the butt.
He said it's a little kick in the butt, and then we see the guy, and the guy
With the
is
big boot.
the most Australian looking United States in the '80s version of Australia person ever. Like he's got the
Big,
denim jacket, the shorts, the
big muscles, but his legs are thin.
yeah.
All right. Anything else from Act 2 you want to talk about?
No, I think we're good to go.
Awesome. All right. Act 3. Homer doesn't allow the prime minister to kick Bart in the butt, so he takes away his boot. Bart and Homer run away to the embassy. Now the prime minister wants to kick Bart with a regular shoe. And but while the prime minister tries to kick Bart, Bart pulls down his shorts, showing his butt. The Simpsons leave Australia while the bullfrogs are eating the crops. All right, let's talk about Act Three.
I think that that scene where Bart pulls down his shorts because
Uh-huh.
they make I love it because they make it look like okay, they're arguing what to be done, and Bart says, "You know what? I need to take my punishment." And so
Yeah.
he goes out there, and it looks real solemn. And Lisa's even like, "I promise I won't make fun of you." They're thanking him, and then once the guy he's like, "This is for the Commonwealth of Australia," and he takes a
Mhm.
swing. Bart
Okay.
jumps forward, and this is for the United States of America.
So,
Drops his pants, and it says, "Don't tread on me."
yeah. And Lisa's impressed because it's like, I'm impressed that you could write on your own butt.
So legibly, like you can read it.
Yes, but it's funny because I like how when they're in the Parliament, Homer says that America he says we stop using corporal punishment, and things have never been better. Streets are safe. Old people strut comfortably through the streets to the darkest alleys, and the weak and nerdy are admired for their computer programming abilities.
What country was Homer living in?
I don't know. I'm reading. I was reading. I'm like, really, Homer? The streets are safe. They don't use corporal punishment.
That's all they use.
So so we see them run to the American embassy, and the Australian cops have a boomerang. That's they don't have guns, but they use boomerangs.
One guy uses a boomerang.
Yeah.
Just one
We,
guy.
and we see in Australia they're chasing Bart, and I like how Bart and Homer meets Lisa, Marge.
And they just go with it.
Yep, but we find out that the kangaroo pouches have slime. No, this is not like the
Mucus.
cartoons.
They're
And
lucky
also
those
we see
kangaroos didn't kill him. Kangaroos
that's
are
true.
violent.
Are they aggressive like mooses? Because I know mooses look okay, look cool, but I mean, if you mess with them, mooses are mean.
Well, I mean, they kill wolves, so I'm pretty sure if you're gonna go up against a wolf, you gotta make the first strike.
And did you notice the store that Marge and Lisa are shopping? The gift store.
No, what did it say?
It says South of the Equator gift shop, and it has like a Mexican stereotype, and it says Pedro says it's high quality.
Oh, like south of the border.
Yeah, but in Australia.
Hmm.
So we see the bullfrogs are getting invaded by in Australia because the owners are kicking out the bullfrogs. So this is where we see the bullfrogs multiplying, and I'm like, can the bullfrogs
Yeah.
crossbreed with other frogs? They can.
No, that's what I was asking too. I'm like, do they? Was it like Was it a
There were no
Jurassic?
bullfrogs before.
Was it a Jurassic Park situation where they just? But it was one frog though. That's what I don't get. Like,
Yeah, it was only one frog, and the frog went with the kangaroo. So
yeah, I
the
don't
frog
get.
can't the frog can't breed with the kangaroo.
I hope.
I don't know. So the embassy is closing the gates, and then we see the gates not closing right because it was made in the U.S. So they want to compromise Bart, I guess, for the situation that happened, and a booting once with the regular shoe. So Bart moons them, and that's the American way. And the Australians are pissed, and they fly to, and then we see the Simpsons fly to the helicopter. It feels like you remember, you know about this scene about them getting into a helicopter?
Which part about it? Is it a reference to something?
It's a reference about Vietnam.
Mm.
And then we see well, look, then the Simpsons are just making fun of the Australia because the bullfrogs are running wild on Australia. It's like, see what happens when you bring
Introduce.
something that's introduced into a new country, and in the end we see a koala
That was so.
hanging on the.
That was so surreal though that they were laughing, and then Lisa says that's what happens when you introduce an invasive species to an ecosystem that can't handle them, and they start
Yeah,
laughing. I'm like, that wasn't funny. That I don't know why that's always been such a weird scene to me. Like she just says
especially
it's
Lisa.
yeah, she just says it's straight face and all technical, and they just find it funny. I
Do you,
guess
do
it's the
you, do you
adrenaline.
probably, and do you know if maybe Lisa knew Bart had a bullfrog with him?
I mean, she had to know. I mean, she was right, probably riding next to him. I mean, what I
Oh my
don't get
god.
is, didn't anybody say, "Hey, what's in the box?" Like, what's in the box? You've caused problems already. Why are you taking that weird box with you?
And why can that frog just it takes about what 3 days to fly to Australia or something because of the time zone? How can that frog live in that box?
My guess is it's because it's cold blooded, so it could kind of like shut down. I guess.
I don't know. All right, anything else about this episode you want to talk about?
Mm, no, I'm good.
All right. Let's go with IMDb trivia. Are you ready?
That's always.
All right. Well, according to this episode, the episode received mixed reception in Australia,
I was
with some
wondering
Australian.
about that. That's what I was going to ask you too. I'm like, I wonder if they got in trouble because I know they got in trouble with the Brazil episode.
Oh yeah, I read that. According to IMDb, with some Australian fans saying the episode was a mockery of their country. This is what one of your things that you didn't like from this episode
Mm,
was, right?
yeah.
Shortly after it had aired, the Simpsons staff received over 100 letters from Australians who were insulted by the episode. They also received letters from people complaining about the Australian accents used in the episodes that sounded more like South African accents.
Okay, so I mean, I know this is going to sound weird coming from me, but in
Yeah.
the Simpsons' defense, they make fun of America a lot,
Oh, yeah.
like a lot. And the only problem I had with this episode wasn't that they were making fun of Australia. It's just that's kind of what all it was. It's like, yeah, this isn't. It's funny, but it's not as timeless. Like you can't put the lines in anything like in this one as in the other ones.
The dingo ate my baby.
Yeah.
All right. Another trivia: the bullfrogs taking over Australia and destroying all the crops is a reference to the cane toad, originally introduced to Australia in order to protect sugar canes from the cane beetle, but became a pest in the country.
I did not know that.
Um, Also, when Bart is talking to the boy's father on the phone, he says, "I think I hear a dingo eating your baby," referencing the case of Azaria Chamberlain, a 10-week-old baby who was killed by dingoes.
Those are aggressive dogs because a lot of wild dogs they leave people alone.
Yeah, I want to see how a dingo acts and stuff because I never seen a dingo or anything like on the zoo.
I don't think I've seen a dingo either in person.
I seen a wild dog from Africa on the zoo.
Yeah, I think that's what I've seen too.
There are very few characters used in this in the episode. The five main family members, Milhouse, and some characters who were just for the episode.
That's true.
um, Also, the episode has since become study material for sociology courses at the University of California,
What
where
the
it is
hell?
used to where it is used to examine issues of the production and reception of cultural objects. In this case, a satirical cartoon show,
I would have thought that
and
that would have been Brazil. That they would have used Brazil for that.
and to figure out what it is trying to tell audience about aspects primarily of American society and to a lesser extent about other societies.
I would take that class. That sounds interesting.
In California?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So, all right, everybody, that is the end of Bart versus Australia. I think it was a really good episode. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
It went by fast. Like it went by really fast.
Yeah. So next week we are doing your episode, Jimmy. Did you pick an episode?
Yes, it's Homer. No, it's the NASA one, but I forgot what it's called. Deep Space
Deep
Homer, I think it's
Deep
called.
Space Homer.
Yeah,
Okay, from season
5, I
5. I
believe.
know that.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Until next week, everybody, thank you so much for listening to Homer's Frenemies. And remember to follow us on Twitter at Homer's Frenemies and check out our YouTube page and make sure to like it. Until then, bye.
Have a good one.